right, it's Tuesday, January 7th. Just wanted to follow up on the QQQs. I'm not at all surprised. There was a big green reversal bar down in here. I discussed how I bought some puts here at bar number 3 heading lower. I bought the QQQ 530 puts at 962. They got as high as like 14, as I recall. And we were coming into a key area here in terms of a target. If we look at the daily chart, it's definitely a 2-down day. But if you look at the high of this bar and the low of this bar, that becomes a big gap in here. And you can see we just filled that gap. And now potentially we're holding. It doesn't mean for sure that we're going to reverse back to the upside, but anything's possible. So we're going to see. I just think early on, given the conflict in play, whereas the weekly chart below this line is to the downside and the yearly chart above this blue line is to the upside, it's kind of tricky to know what is going to unfold, other than the fact that opening price action wanted to test lower first into this target area right in here on the daily chart. So, if we get a big, this is interesting. I just wanted to point out here that if we kind of hold in here and do something orderly, and we could have another push down to test these lows and maybe start a very negative start to the year, follow through and get below this blue line. Anything's possible, but it's also possible we can kind of hold in here and then have a big reversal up, and that could be the sign that in the big picture, we're going to get back above the weekly open, with 3 more days to go. And on the yearly chart, we're still expecting, if I go to the daily chart here, we're still expecting the year to test those highs at some point this year, and we're above the yearly open at the moment, this blue line. So, the thing is, on the weekly chart, you can see we're coming down, but we're only at the midpoint of the prior week. So this would be an interesting inflection point area. That do we kind of hold in here and then get that weekly chart back to green, or is this going to be the start of a whole negative week that comes back through the midpoint of this bar, which happens to be the open of the year? That would be a very negative sign to me, that we could be then getting an outside week to the downside, and the whole year might start off negative. So that's kind of what I'm watching here, and I think that's why the market's pausing here. I don't know for sure what's going to happen, so I just thought I'd point out, again, the interesting, expectations about price in this environment. And the expectation was it would hold here. It's starting to do that. Now you got to watch price action to see does it follow through strongly and confirm more the upside, or do we not get any kind of a big bounce, and it might be the start of, like I said, a whole failure developing here. But for now, intraday, the sell here, buying puts, on bar 3, gave you pretty, there's a lot of volatility to get down to this inflection point, for some kind of a no-risk scenario as you monitor it. But I'm going to watch price action closely here, and again, that's my reference points that I'm looking at going forward.